Welcome. This is the URT. You are the URT. Big up the URT. Welcome to the URT. Big up, people. How are you doing? It's Tuesday night. Big up to everybody. We're going to get the community question popping. Are you giddy about Sesko? That's the question. Yes or no? Straight up. We're getting in there. We're diving in straight away. Are you giddy about Sesko? So let's take the poll. Let me get the temperature of the URT army. Are we happy? Are we get giddy about Sesko? Yes, yay, or nay? Yeah. Or nay? Get involved. Let's be having you. Let's be having you. Because you know how my feelings are, and I'm putting that aside. I really used to rate Sesko. If he comes signed for Manchester United, I support him. Like I support every other football player. But I think this is a risk. That comes off. I hope the risk is worth taking. And I hope those who are running the club know what they're doing. Because if he goes south, boy, oh boy, Manchester United is going to be a place where not a lot of people can come to, really. So I genuinely hope that it becomes about and that he actually does really well and he doesn't have the effect of Rasmus effect. But people, please smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel and get involved in the community question because genuinely, I really want to know. Like already 50-50. It's interesting. 50-50 to begin with. It's going to be really interesting. And by the way, do not be swayed by my pessimism. Yeah, so do not be persuaded by my pessimism. It's moving along now. 53% of you are saying yes, you're excited, you're getting giddy. 47% of you say no. So yeah, every player is different, but I just genuinely do think where a majority of the fan base was saying we needed an experienced striker, we're buying another youngster who's 22. Another 22-year-old, and I'm just like, we're making a mistake when we bought Rasmus. We should have bought two strikers, an experienced one and a younger striker. More importantly, I think the midfield would have been better to basically solve. The midfield would have been better to solve. But that's how it is. Sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. Not everybody sees it the same. And yeah, respect everybody. Big up to Jamie Wayne. Big up Carly. He says Nuruddin. There's my one. He's about better watch out, man. Big up Nuruddin. Press up. Chat. Please like up. Yeah, big up to Carla. Big up all the mod. Wani, talk to me, bro. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Nordin?
I'm good. You've done early. You're not on the road this week. You're taking it easy.
Yeah, I just arrived. I just came home actually.
There you go. Good timing.
Yeah.
Good timing.
Yeah.
Good timing. So we're signing your boy, man.
Big up there, Army.
We're signing your boy. You actually like Sesko, yeah?
Yep, I like him. I like the profile of him. I like the age. So if we're in a rebuild, it's a good signing, I believe.
Okay. Well, it's going to be plenty of that to talk about, debate tonight. So big up to you. So where were you today? Where were you?
I'm coming from New Jersey today. So
not that far.
Yeah, I went to Long Island, New York City, then I carried through New Jersey. I couldn't find any loads, so I just drove home empty. So
big up.
Yeah.
Big up. Big up to the masses. We went for the dark mode tonight. People, can you see it's a bit of a dark mode? We've gone for the dark mode. I don't know what you can see the interface, but we've gone for the dark mode. The chat is all dark. Maybe it's just dark for me. But
big
yeah,
up the chat. Big up the chat. Big up Lesso.
Big up Lesso. Lesso, talk to me, man. What's going on? What's going on?
Big up Luani. Big up Noridin. Big up the chat. Smash the like button, people. You know how it is, and yeah, it's bloody cold here, man. So I'm under the blankets as it is. But what can I do, man?
Like a true African, it's bloody cold. We're not good with the cold, people. Melanated people are not good with the cold, man. We ain't that good with the cold. And you know how it is, innit? It's climate crisis, innit? So, yeah. It is what it is. But big up to everybody. Big up to you too. So let's have a look at that. I put the community in the question. Hopefully both you can get involved. So far, it's been up for nearly 5 minutes, and it is 50-50. I said, you are Tiami, are we giddy about Sesko? And we're going to have that debate. We're also going to talk about the stadium. The people who own the land want 400 million, and Ineos and Glazers are offering them 50 million or 30 million. And that's going to be fun and jokes. And I can't see a new stadium being built in 5 years. So that's an embarrassment already. And then also the question is to ask after that to finish the show up is, will the midfield neglect cost us? Will it really cost us? So that's where we're going to get into debate. But yeah, any other breaking Manchester United news as well, we'll get into it. So big up to everybody. Big up and love. Please smash the like. Subscribe to the channel if you ain't already subscribed. Brother sent the photo. Let's see.
How did you guys see the game last time?
That's what I want to ask both of you, actually. So let's start with that. Has somebody got me on in the background? Can you check, Luani? Am I on in the background? I can hear a bit of an echo.
Nope.
Yeah, big up to Alien Tenor. Big up, Pete. Big up to you, man. Sesko won't do jack prem in this United team, yeah. Well, we'll see in it. That's what I'm saying to you. Some of us are skeptical, healthy skeptical. We got nothing personally against the player. We just think that we should be focused on somewhere else. But how did you see the game?
You want me to go first or Lesso?
No, you, Luana, first. You.
Well, I watched your match reaction. You and Said match reaction, and you guys were talking about how we need midfielders. We need at least 2 midfielders because that's the impression that the game gave us. But the issue that I have is, I think that the problem is not the personnel. The problem is the system. So regardless of the quality of midfielder or the amount of midfielder that we bring, is not going to solve our problem. Think about Baleba, right? Baleba is a Premier League proven midfielder. You drop him in that midfield, it's not going to make any difference. We went through, I think, 5 midfield. Each of our 5 midfield that we went through play in that single pivot. We have Eriksson, Casemiro tried that, Kobe Mino tried that, Bruno tried that, Ugarte. We went to 5 different profiles, but still the problem persists. Last game, I look at it from David Moyes' standpoint, right? I'm David Moyes. The first question I'm asking myself: how many player is Manchester United throwing into the press? Manchester United usually throw 6 players into the press, into the high press, right? So if I'm David Moyes, I split my center back and I put a goalkeeper in the middle. That means United striker is going to press the goalkeeper. And the two center back that I split are going to be pressed by our 10s. And then I still have I'm David Moyes. I still have 2 DM. I'm playing a single pivot. So one of our DM one of Everton DM is going to be pressed by Bruno Fernandes. So that's 4 people we commit to the press. Now, our fullback, David Moyes' fullback, are staying halfway up the pitch. They are pressed by our wing back. So we're committing 6 men to the press. That leaves us with 4 men. 4 men, 3 defenders, and 1 single pivot in Ugarte. While they have one extra man because Idris Ghana Gay and James Garner, one of them can go and one of them can sit in the single pivot. Now imagine if Idris Ghana Gay step forward by 10 yards, he's right in that midfield. And they still have their striker, their 2 winger over there in that midfield, right? Because they play in a 4-3-3. So they are outnumbering our Ugarte 2-1. So I'm David Moyes. I'm telling my players, bet United players, let them come and kick it long to Beto. Beto is 6'4". If the ball goes in the air, we already running toward their goal. The ball goes in the air. If Beto knock that ball into the midfield, it's still 2 versus Ugarte. If Beto knock that ball into the wings, it's still a foot race between our lateral center back and their wingers. I'm watching David Moyes sitting on the sideline fuming, and he have all right to fume because the plan was working perfectly. But Njai, their winger, was just so wasteful. Beto was so wasteful. What's his name? The other winger, Alcaraz or Alcaraz, he was also wasteful. And I'm watching our coach after 30 minutes, he's scratching his head. He have no answers. Maybe we should start answering the right question. Maybe we should start asking the hard question. The hard question is, why is David Moyes a manager that's touted to be almost a dinosaur? That's on his way. That's almost like one of the old school manager on his way to retire, is outplaying our manager with James Garner, one of our own from our academy, and a journeyman like Idris Ghana Gay. The job of a coach is to give several options to his players. They can play with a single pivot, and if we don't press them, they pass the ball to James Garner. And I promise you, James Garner have more touch on that ball. And Idris Ganage also have more touch than that ball than Kobe Mino and Ugarte. Still need to be verified. Maybe I'm waffling. But after 30 minutes, they were bopping us. I didn't know David Moyes can play this kind of football. And that's what I saw. Amorim tried to keep football simplistic. When you keep football too simplistic with straight pass, it doesn't matter how well you're executing the pass. Everything is so predictable. Everything is so predictable because once the ball go to our lateral center backs, it's either we kick it long or we try to find our 10. You cannot, if you want to make up that number, that 2v1, that every team is outnumbering us on the pitch. If you want to make up that number, you either have to drop one of your center back. One of your center back have to be aggressive and step in the midfield. So from time to time, I'll see Delete try to step in that midfield. From time to time, I'll see Ugarte try to step in center back. But it's harder to ask a midfielder to step into center back and to ask a center back to step in the midfield than on the other side to ask 2 DM to go up and down. It's easier for a 6 to go up 20 yards and invert with the other 6 that can go like the pump motion. Because a 6, between a 6 and an 8, there's not much difference. But asking a setter, you see, it's simpler for them. In simple terms, it's simpler for them. What we're doing is a bit too complicated. It's going against the nature of the players that we have. And that is what I noticed. Amorim need to adapt somehow. He need to adapt. Hello, I'm still here.
Yeah. I think a lot of the things what you said is really interesting. Big up, people. There's over 100 of you in here. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We are, let me just tell you guys where we are in terms of subscribers. So if you guys subscribe, let me just tell you where we are. We basically need 61 to make it 13.5k. And I think we're doing fantastic for a channel that's shadow banned. I disagree with you off the hand from your first sentence. I think with your analysis of the game is fascinating, and I think, yeah, you got a lot of points. But Belabor can get off the ground. He can cover a lot of ground, and he's got the technical ability and the speed and the know-how. He is levels above Ugarte. Leveled above Ugarte. I think, yes, I fundamentally agree with you. On the whole, it's the setup. But you cannot have players with that level of limited ball playability in a system like this. It further exposes them. And I do think that if you have more technically and physically sound footballer who's super intelligent and can get about the ground, I think it enhances that. It almost kind of helps to make the system better. But yeah, I want to hear from Lesso. I thought, what about the positives, Luani, the front three? What did you think about the front three for how Bruno, Kudya, and Bermo were connecting? What did you think about that?
So when it comes to the front three, we just substitute less quality for more quality. So Garnacho, Mbeumo and Cunha for Garnacho and Rasmus is definitely better quality. You can see it in the touches of Mbeumo when the ball come to him, and he was able to play on the swivel and find the strikers. So that's definitely something of a plus, but it's not something that will make us jump from 15th to 10. It's not enough. The setup need to be better. Nuruddin, what you say about Baleba being quality on the ball, I agree with that. But the point I'm bringing up is not what we can do with the ball, it's what the opponent is doing to us when they have the ball based on our setup. If you put Baleba in that midfield and he's versus 2, it's going to be the same thing. You will notice after 15 minutes, our players all get tired. 15 or 30 minutes, we just die down. Why do we die down? Because when we commit 6 men to the press and everybody is running forward and the other team goes long, suddenly we have to turn around and run the other way. Imagine you do that for like 30, 20 minutes. You running 20 yards up and down, up and down. You're going to get tired. We don't keep the ball well. We don't make the ball work. We don't make the ball run. We are running all the time. And that's the issue that we have. We're getting tired after a while. Everton was playing as if they just started playing the football. And after a while, we just sat off them because at the beginning, we were pressing them high and they were knocking it long to Beto, who was knocking it about, right? And then after a while, we just got tired. We just sat off. And at that point, you see James Garner was comfortable coming to collect the ball in a single pivot. You have to have options. And Amorim just want to play one way. And that's the issue that we have.
Lesso, what did you think of the game?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Luani. You know, this system, I've always said, you know, despite us not having the personnel, to be honest, it's a very flawed system, and especially when you look at Premier League, the way Premier League teams set up. Anyways, you know, and once they found you out, this is the thing. Once they found you out, you need to adapt. You know, you cannot keep doing something over and over again and think you're gonna get away with it because it's a new season. You know, and you know, I've looked at all the managers who have been successful here, who have come from other leagues. You look at Pep, you look at Klopp. They've somewhat altered their way of playing as well. You know, when they came to this league, they have adapted in some way, form, or shape. You know, and with Amorim, this is the problem I kind of had with him. I thought he'd maybe probably try and adapt, but listening to the first few interviews, I saw that, you know, he's not a manager that looked like he wanted to adapt. He didn't sound like it either. He looked like a man that wanted to play, who wanted to play one way, and that's it. And that's not going to work, unfortunately, not in a league like this, because if you go from league to league, you have to, one way or another, you have to alter the way you play. There's no such thing that because this is my philosophy, I'm going to play this way. Every manager has to adapt in some way, form, or shape. And you look at our personnel right now, it's not helping the situation anyways. You look at the players that we have, they don't know how to keep the ball. Most of them can't even, beat a player and even progress the ball, or even collect it from the defenders and start building up from the back. We're not comfortable with that. You can see it every single time. All teams have to do is make sure that they press us. If they press us in the right areas, it's over for us. And because we're not comfortable on the ball, we just do not have the players for such in that way that we want to play. And I look back at the Everton game. It pretty much actually, what's funny enough, I always said that people shouldn't be looking at this preseason. I saw how many people were, jolly after a couple of games thinking that we're back and this is going to work. I told people, I still stand by it. This man is not seeing Christmas, man. I told people from last season, nothing's going to change. Nothing changes over 2 months or 1 month or whatever you guys think, and we told them that the season is just it's just a month or two away. It's not next year. It's not in 3 years' time. And even so, that's not going to change because, teams already know how to set up against us. We've went over this. All teams have to do is just flood the midfield. They know that we play with 2 pivot midfielders. All you do, you outnumber our team in midfield, and that's it. It's game set. Because anyways, you look at any midfielder pairing that we put in there, they are literally going to be, sucked the life out of, if we're being honest. This is why I always preferred the 4-3-3, because at least you have an extra man in there. You've got 3 midfielders, and you have wing play a lot. In this formation, we ignore the midfield entirely. All teams press, and then what we do, they force us to kick the ball long, and we play this ping pong football, and where we can't even keep the ball, we can't even get some sort of rhythm if you think about it. So, the likes, even if we, let's say we sign Baleba, yes, Baleba is a great player. I can't wait to see him in a midfield 3. And I think we are going to go back to that anyways once this manager's gone. I mean, the writing's on the wall. You can see with these owners and everything that is happening. I said it, and I'll keep saying it. You're going to know whether they have trust in this guy, whether or not, judging by how they sign players in the summer. If they left out signing wing backs for him, that was a clear indication that they do not view the way we're playing as a way going forward. Because if they really were that invested, we would have signed wing backs. Why didn't you sign wing backs? That was quite obvious, because wing backs are an integral part in how you want to play in the system. So they didn't do that. So yeah.
Big up, man. Big up. Listen, we'd like to welcome man like Sean, our brother. Big up, King. How are you? Long time no see. I hope you're well.
Sean.
Big up,
People have been asking about you. Big up
big
to
up,
you.
Lesso.
Let me just get this to the chat.
Luani,
Agree.
Ben.
Yeah, man. Big up. Let me just get this before I ask you what have you been up to. Just waffling says, agree, we have a coaching problem. If we get a midfielder like Labour, we'll have to rely on his individual brilliance and athleticism to help us. Yeah, go ahead, Sean. Where are we? Are we on the road? Sean's always on the road, man.
Yeah. I'm back in California, but technically, yes, on the road on my way back from the gym. And then jumped into the conversation, and it felt like we were smack in the middle of last season. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but like me personally, I'm cautiously optimistic about the season ahead of us. And my cautious optimism is coming from my expectations. So because I don't expect us to win the league next season or this coming season, I don't expect us to even get into top four this next season. And so my expectations are tempered. And because of that, I'm comfortable, right? What I'm looking for from this team is to see an improvement in the games against Southampton, Everton, West Ham. I know we will still struggle against the likes of Liverpool and Man City and Arsenal, but if we can win the games that I think we should win against the likes of West Ham, Everton, and Co. I think we should have a decent season somewhere in the top six, top eight. And from my perspective, that's a significant improvement on where we finished last season. And so, I think even if we signed Baleba or whoever, I don't think we're going to solve all those problems in one summer or in one season. So I always like what I hear from Amorim, but on top of that, I like what I'm seeing from the players. I do believe that the system can work if the right players are in position. I can understand why the club did not sign wing backs, for example. Right now, our starting wing backs are Dorgu and Ahmad. That's solid, right? It's true that if either of them gets injured, there's a problem because we have to rely on Dallo. But if I were to prioritize, my priorities would be the two number 10s, which we have done, two very talented, very solid players in Bremo and Cunha. And then I'll also prioritize a striker and or a midfielder before wing backs. So I can totally understand the club's activity in the summer window. I think Amorim is shaping the squad in his image. So not even in terms of like the formation itself, but the attitude, right? Because personally, my own philosophy has always been that 60% of the outcome on the football pitch is based on vibes. The remaining 40% is tactics and all that kind of stuff. But the majority of your outcome is based on the vibes, the confidence, and the mood of the team. And I think Amorim is slowly getting the squad of players to behave with integrity, right? So I think they all understand that anybody who's playing right now is playing because they deserve to play. It doesn't seem like there's any more favoritism. And the manager has tough choices to make. Maguire versus Delete. What does Bruno fit in? I think there are far more, from my perspective, far more interesting conversations to have about the season ahead of us, as opposed to counting down till the manager gets sacked. I hope he doesn't get sacked. I hope we have a successful season. And to me, success looks like a top 8, top 6 finish. I'm content with that. And it's based on that expectation that I would judge Amorim and the team and the transfer window. And I think we're in good shape to achieve a decent top 6 or top 8 finish.
Okay, what did you think of the game the other night, Sean? Quickly, and then we'll go to Ben.
Very, very good game. I was very impressed with what I saw from Mbeumo. I think all in all, it was a good test. It was good to bring us down to earth, right? Because I do think fans may have been getting carried away with the games against West Ham and Bournemouth. So it was good to come up against a very physical team to give us a taste of what we would expect in the season. Although personally, I think if we had finished the game with Mbeumo on the pitch, if we had played with Dorgu at wing back throughout, we would have won that game. So I'm less concerned as other people are. I don't blame Amorim or the Ineos management for looking at Kobe Mino and Ugarte and saying, okay, I have Kobe Mino is 21 or 22 years old. I have Ugarte 23 years old. These are players with high ceilings, lots of potential. Maybe we don't spend 70 million on a midfielder this summer, right? We wait till next summer because all things being equal, if both of them have 7/10 seasons. So like if Ugarte is poor 3/10, they were in trouble. If Kobe Mino is poor 3/10, we're in trouble. But if two of them have 6/10 seasons or decent 7/10 seasons, and the likes of Lisandro Martinez step up, Euro steps up, and Mbeumo, Cunha, Ahmad, Dorgu, they all play well. Sesko comes in and plays well. I think we can get away with, again, like I'm saying, we should be able to get away with a top 6, top 8 finish. And I was very impressed with what I saw from the team against Everton. All in all, I'm feeling cautiously optimistic, like I said.
Yeah, big up, Sean. Appreciate it. Good to hear from you. I hope you're well. Go ahead, Ben. I just want to say big up to Jamie Wayne. It's got a bit of dodgy stomach. Jamie, listen, go and get rest up, mate. Bloody hell, lad. The chicken is one of the, give you stomachache. I hope it's not food poisoning, mate, for your sake. So look after yourself, man. Send in love. Quick recovery. Big up to you, Jamie Wayne. Mod. Big up to Alien Tenno, Shek, Ariane, Carla, big up all the mods, big up everybody else that's joining us. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Our target is 150 likes. I just want to have a quickly before Ben comes in. I want to check where we are in terms of URT Army. Are we getting about giddy about Sesko? 58% of you are saying yes, you're giddy. 42% in you are saying no, you're not giddy. And it's now jumped to 62% of you are saying you are giddy. So a lot of people are supporting Sesko. People are rating Sesko. So big up to you. Shaqiri, as a United, understand Manchester United's feelings from earlier today is even stronger tonight. The club believes Birmingham Sesko only wants to join Manchester United. So it is. Man FC now feel 11 even stronger after today with Benjamin Sesko only wants to join them. They have forwarded their official contract proposal to the striker. Yeah, breaking. Man FC have rebuffed approaches from clubs in the Premier League and Italy. Harry Maguire. Listen, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to start that. I'm going to part that one, but we're going to talk about that. It's laughable, man. That is so laughable. I obviously told the truth. I said if he's Argentinian, if he's Belgian, if he was a black French player, he would not have got that grace. But yeah, I think he's done an interview, and yeah, with Rio Ferdinand, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll get through to what those are. So I'll star them all. Ben, how you doing? Big up to you. Welcome. Hope you're well. Sending love. Talk to us, lad. Talk to us. What's going on? What? How did you see the game on Tuesday? Did you watch it on Tuesday night? Actually, yeah, you were in the chat, innit? You watched it. You were watching our match analysis. Me and Saeed going through it. So yeah, people, our thing for the stream tonight is 150 likes. So let's get to 150 likes ASAP. Go ahead, Ben.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Lasso, Sean. Big up Luani and big up yourself, Nuruddin. And big up the chat. Make sure you like and subscribe, people. And free Palestine every day, bro. Yes, man. I watched the game. I watched the Bournemouth game and the Everton game. And I can't lie. I'm actually in a similar path with Sean. I kind of like what I seen in terms of I'm talking about the first 35 minutes of the Everton game. I'm not talking about the whole game. I was very, very impressed with that first 35 minutes, right? I thought we were calm, we were collective. When we were in the final third, we didn't rush to hoof the ball into the box. If there was no one in the box, we played the simple pass and rotated all the way around. I thought our first phase of play in terms of the wing backs was good. I thought Ahmad and Dorgu linked up pretty well. But the issue is, man, it's once again, I said it to Shakar, big up the Shakarian and the Cleese. I said it in the chat. I said, the problem is it's the keeper and the two in the midfield, man. Kobe can do it. I know. I've seen enough from Kobe. Kobe can be in that midfield too. He just needs a lot more development time at this moment in time. And although Man United's not a development team at the moment, but I have more optimistic with Menu than Ugarte. I think Ugarte, yeah, he had an awful game. But you know what, man? I think Ugarte is more of a bench player in this team. He should never be a starter. I think the issue is if you bring in a Rodri, if you bring in a Casero, if you bring in a Baleba, and if you bring in, say, a Lemons, if you bring in those two players, say if you brought on Rodri and a Lemons, like, honestly, it's a different kettle of fish, this United squad. Like, I will 100% guarantee you, if we had two physical class players that are good on the ball and can keep control of the game and the tempo of the game, would be so much better. And you would see the system flow. And the most important thing is as well, man, obviously we've been linked to Sesko. As soon as Mbumo came off the pitch and Cunha went up the striker, he didn't hardly see any of the ball. And the thing is, people just get too like giddy on like the Sesko signing. I don't. We need to fix what's back. You don't start at striker to play football. You start from the keeper and then you work your way to the top. The striker, I always said, is the icing on the cake. You have to start from the keeper. The keeper is dreadful. Bayindir and Onana. Tom Heaton, I'm hopeful Tom Heaton will be our keeper if we don't sign a keeper this season. With the midfield, man, it's just like, if you just bring me, like, people say they don't have to be tall, they don't have to be physical. They do. They actually do. This is the Premier League, guys. It's the most physical league in the world right now, and we need, to look for a player that's, obviously, if he's 6 foot or taller, then happy days. But he has to be good in the ball, and he has to keep control of the game. This is why I loved Matic. This is why I loved Herrera. This is why I love Pogba. The three most balanced players we had in our midfield since post Fergie, man. And look what happened, man. We went to Bruno. And like I said, I'm going to get on to Bruno again. Bruno pissed me off so much last game, bro. I'm sorry, man. He kept losing the ball every fucking time. And I said to my brother, I said, watch, he's going to put Bruno in the fucking midfield too. And he's going to drop as if he's going to be like, oh, I'm going to be the playmaker. And what did I say? He's going to be playing the fucking long balls. And what did we see? He played the long balls constantly, man. It's fucking a joke, bro. He cannot play in this team, man. This system does not suit him. And the thing is, people say the only way to play to his strengths is that we play transitional football, counter-attacking football, and plus if we have three in the midfield. But the thing is, the three in the midfield, right? Let me just get on to this. He won't do his job.
We play two.
He won't. But if we went back to a three, Nerdin, he won't do his job. He won't do it. This is what I'm trying to get at United fans. It's what he does off the ball. I fucking hate, man. I would, honestly, if I was a midfielder, and I'm not, I would, out of every footballer I can think of in the world, I would hate to play with Bruno Fernandes in that midfield too, because he just leaves Menu, he leaves Ugarte all by himself, man. And I just said, stay in your position. Amorim talks about, he's coached the team, to stay in their positions at the right moment at the right time. I can see that. I can see that being implemented, but I can't see it implemented into this fucking captain. I can't. And I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry. Excuse my language. I cannot see us going forward with Bruno Fernandes and Bayindir or Onana in nets. Our first phase of play, yes, the wing backs are perfect. I totally disagree if anyone says, right, we need wing backs. Yeah, you can't do everything all in one summer. We probably should do that next summer, because Dorgu, I've actually seen a lot of improvement in Dorgu in this preseason. Hopefully he can carry it on. And obviously we know what Amma can do. But it's the two in the midfield. You can't just play out from the back for the wing backs. You have to play out from the back and the two in the midfield. They have to come close to help out the defenders, man, and progress onto the second phase of play. But apart from that, in terms of the final third, I am seeing a wee bit of a different, approach. We're not rushing the ball as much. I will say that. I will give credit to Amorim. But, man, we just need this midfield sorted, man. It's just frustrating as fuck, bro. Do you know what it is? See Ndidi. I don't like Ndidi.
Alien Tano, come back. Where is he gone?
Oh.
Peter, gone. Peter, come back.
Oh. Yeah. I see with Ndidi. Yeah, I'm not saying I want Ndidi. But see Ndidi, him, but if he was good on the ball, he's the perfect profile. If he was good on the ball now. We need something like that. Tall, physical, and good on the ball.
I don't think Ndidi is at the moment.
No, I know.
Yeah, not at this moment. Big up, Pete.
Anyways.
Pete, what did you think of the game? Everton.
Big up, Dino, Luani, Ben, Sean, Lasso. Well, you know what, Dino? I mean, look, I'll put it this way. We look good going forward, and when you're going forward,
for 35 minutes.
when you're going forward and you look good, you need to score. Because, man, we have no pace at the back. The only guy we have with pace at the back is Lenny Yoro. We have a decimated midfield. And, okay, this is just pre-season friendlies. When the real deal starts, the Premiership, and teams are actually fighting for points, we will get slaughtered. Seriously, we are going to get slaughtered. Just get Amorim out. He's not up to the task. I'm sorry, guys. That's my opinion. This guy inside his head thinks he's still in Lisbon or wherever he was playing his football in Portugal. This is the Premier League. Why am I saying this? Look at Arne Slot at Liverpool. Came from the Dutch league, took over the reins from Jurgen Klopp, and he done what Jurgen Klopp couldn't do. He won the Premiership in a canter. In a canter. The last 8 games, Liverpool didn't even need to try. Yeah? That's the difference of a class manager to a manager who thinks he's a big fish. He's not. He's done. Don't buy any players for this guy. Just give him freebies and clap him out the door. Seriously.
Can I just push back? Slot came to guys who won European Champions League, who've won the league, who were challenging for years and years, for City taking it to the last game, most seasons. So you're talking about a proper, stable football club.
Yeah.
You're talking about, Champions League winners, league title winners. And City obviously did. Arsenal bottled it like they did. City collapsed. Arsenal bottled it, and they took advantage.
But still, Dino, Dino and chat and guys, yeah, Arne Slot won the league with Liverpool in a canter.
Yeah.
He won it in a canter. Yeah. He won it with a dysfunctional striker. Yeah. He won it in a canter. He's won it with an aging striker, Salah. Don't give me that. He's won it easy because he's a better class manager in there. He knows what he's doing and he knows how to play the game. This guy, Amorim, will lead us to our destruction. Seriously, he will. This type of football, what he plays. I'm seriously convinced now Amorim thinks he's playing the PlayStation 5 with this team. Seriously, I do. I think he thinks because, like Luwani said previously,
how can you watch what we've seen, listen to Amorim, and still say that now?
I'm going back to what Luwani said before. To physically punish players running up and down for it. You run up and down on a 60-yard pitch for 30 minutes. Your ass will be blowing gas out of it. Yeah. And then try and play high-quality football and then try and do it over 9 months, over 38 games against high-class teams. It's called epic fail right there, right now. We cannot do this. This manager is shit. Seriously. He's shit. He's worse. Dino, I'm being serious. He's worse than Erik ten Hag.
Yeah.
We won't win anything with this guy. Seriously, we won't.
I'll stay with you, Pete, actually. I'll stay with you, and I'll come to you, Luwani. Benjamin Sesko, are you excited? People, big up to King Soul. People, smash the likes. We're not even 100 likes yet. Absolute disgrace. Let me just go to the poll as well. I'm asking, are we giddy about Sesko? You are telling, are we giddy? 60% of you said yes. 4% of you are saying nah. Right. Go ahead, Pete. We'll stay with you.
Okay,
Sesko.
yeah. You know what, Dino? You know what, Ben Sesko could work in the right team. You know what, Ben Sesko going to Newcastle, Ben Sesko going to Arsenal. You know where I'm going with this. He could work. Yeah. Going to Man United, no. He won't work because I'm sick of this. The problem is Bruno Fernandes at Man United. Identify the problem and get the problem out the club so you can develop as a team. Bruno thinks he is fucking Man United and he's not. Get the geezer out the club.
Facts.
Just get him out the club. The amount of players Bruno is stifled is beyond belief. He's stifling Kobe Mainu, yeah. He's stifling Garnacho. Garnacho's play of football. Okay, I'll just say this. You know what? You know, under the players who have left Man United when Bruno's been there and have gone to other teams, look how they've bowled at other teams. Jeez, what's the common denominator there, guys?
That's Bruno's fault. I think this Bruno thing is one of the more fascinating phenomena, like as United fans, the obsession with Bruno. Because I was reliably informed that at some point Lukaku was the problem, and it was Alexis Sanchez too at some point. Then it was McFred, then it was Maguire.
John Bruno's the problem.
Now it's Bruno. And I understand that you feel that way, right? It doesn't make any sense to me how Bruno is the problem.
He
I think
is
we would
the
all love
problem,
to.
not the problem. He is the
Because,
problem.
John, because we play through him. We play
Yeah.
through. We're playing through him and Rashford. Rashford's been kicked out of the football club.
Facts.
We're still playing
Yeah.
through Bruno. We're still playing through Bruno. So he dictates aspects of the team, where to go, how we go. And the coach can't make his mind up. 1 minute he's number 10, 1 minute he's number 6. And in that game, he's a pre-season. Say whatever you want about him. But the petulance was fucking shocking. He's tried to nutmeg a player tackles him, throws him on the ground. He gets up, starts kicking him. And then the cameraman can't even keep up with what's happening.
Dino, sorry, Dino, I'll just butt in quick there, with what you just said then. The fucking cheek and audacities, sorry for swearing, at Bruno, to throw his own players under the bus after the game saying they need to fucking level up. You fucked up, mate. You fucked up.
Facts.
Why don't you fuck off? Then the players can level up. How about that, like?
I mean, again, right? I think instead of looking for conspiracies where none exist, to my mind, the simple reason why Bruno plays a lot is that he scores a lot of goals, he creates a lot of chances, and he scores a lot of goals.
He scores penalties.
He scores penalties.
I would take two things in response. I'll take two things in response to that.
He's one of the best penalty takers in the world.
Yeah,
I'll give you that, Sean. He's one of the best.
I think that's a bit of a cheap shot. One, because penalties.
James Garner, the ex-Man U player, clapped Bruno in that game. He clapped him. That's it.
I would say one penalties aren't that easy to score. Just ask anybody who has missed a penalty. And secondly,
I said honestly, genuinely meant that as a compliment to Bruno. He's one of the best penalty takers in world football. When we get a penalty, and I think this is in. I always think this is in. So
again, I think I would encourage people just to interrogate like their priors, right? Because I think it's kind of reflexive at this point where we
John, can I just ask you a question?
Regardless of what's wrong, we point to Bruno Fernandes.
Can I just ask you a question seriously? Do you think Bruno is stifling Kobe Mainoo's development at Man United?
No, and that makes I'm sorry.
Why do you not think that's not happening? Kobe Mainoo's not a CDM, is he?
The reason why I disagree for a couple of reasons, right? I would say on one hand, I think Kobe Mainoo is young enough to be flexible, right? I think Kobe Mainoo is young enough to still be learning his trade, right? So I don't think Kobe Mainoo is in a position to say this is where I play and I can only play this position. That's number one. Number two, I blame Amorim more than Bruno for Kobe Mainoo's career being at risk. Because I think we know Kobe Mainoo works very well in a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 system. I can't think of any room for him either as number 10 or number 6. But I'm okay with Kobe Mainoo as a 20-year-old or 19-year-old footballer trying his best basically to fit into what his manager wants from him right now. So I don't blame Bruno Fernandes for stifling Kobe Mainoo or anything like that. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's the manager who's playing a style of football that doesn't necessarily suit Kobe Mainoo's attributes.
Can I just say this to you then, sir? Yeah, sorry to butt in. Kobe Mainoo came from the youth system, won the Youth FA Cup, earned the Spurs. Bruno got bought and transplanted into that position. Well, how do you factor that in? As a young player, earning your creed to play for Man United and winning the Youth Cup, to be replaced by a Portuguese prick.
So
Look, yellow card, don't bring it up. Pete, how's your missus, by the way? Pete, how's your missus? How are you doing? How's she doing? Is she out yet?
She's all right, Dino. Forget about the missus. Once she gets home, I'll be fucking clapping there again. Don't worry about that.
I mean, from my perspective, the way a young player, the way a young player, the way a young player earns their stripe at United is by playing in the first team, not by winning.
On a serious level, though. On a serious level, when you're a young player, a youth player that comes through the Man United youth system, you to win the youth FA Cup, yeah, is the standard for youth players. Yeah, that means that that's your next step into the senior team. When you're being stifled, as Kobe Mainu is, by Bruno Fernandes, who thinks he's Man United, yeah, and then you got tiny Tim
what are you even saying now? What are you saying?
taking his spot off him.
How is Bruno stifling? How is Bruno
imagine
stifling
being
Kobe
Kobe Mainu now, where you're thinking, what's the point of me being at Man United? Where am I going to go? I'm at a crucial development period in my football career. What is the point of me being at Man United?
Right, Pete, hold that. We're going to get into that debate in a minute. Let me just go back to Luani. Big up Sean. Big up to everybody. People, let's have a look at the poll. Sesko, are you getting giddy? We're going to move on to the segment now about Sesko. I'm going to go around and ask. So Luani already said Sesko. So you're happy with signing Sesko, Luani? And then we move along. Please, people, we've got six of us tonight. We're going to keep the comments concise and short as we can. So let's do that. And let's not give each other the respect. Big up, Pete. Big up to Pete's missus. We pray for her a speedy recovery.
Big up, Pete.
And hopefully she's home soon. Go ahead, Luani.
Yeah, I do rate Sesko because of his age and his skill set. As a striker,
I think we needed an experienced striker.
No, we are in a rebuild. If we get experienced striker, we're talking about north of 28, and then 2 years later.
No. Somebody 24, 25. That will do. That's more experience. That's played more and actually played up front. I just want to remind people that Sesko was not played up front. He played kind of as a number 10 more of on the left-hand side last season for Leipzig. So for me, we're getting another. Do you not think there's a risk we're getting another young player who's not played in the Premier League? Like Pete was saying, Premier League is a different type of animal, right? Everybody gets found out here. Manchester United is not a stable football club where we can develop. There is no thing. What we've done to Rasmus, say whatever you want about Rasmus. I don't blame everything on Rasmus. I think the fact that Rasmus has even come out himself and said he thought there was going to be another player here. He had to play, and we burnt him out. And there's no developmental plan. There's no proper coaching for him.
Wait, Nuruddin. You say he thought there was gonna be another player here. He thought that. If he really thinks that, said it. He doesn't. If he thinks that, he doesn't need to be here. What kind of thought process
when I came,
is that?
Listen, you need to look up. Don't shoot the messenger. I know what he said, and it made total sense. Yeah, it doesn't. Sense. No, it didn't make sense because he said the amount of workload that he had to cover and play and be available every week, where he's just adapting as a young player. Of course,
what
he went from
talking about? Let me finish.
He's sharing. Listen, let me finish. He went from playing now and again at Atlanta because they develop youngsters properly to coming in to Manchester United, being the number one and throwing at the deep end. Even you can admit that, Luani.
Wow. What a dance, this guy, Look, look, he was sharing the burden of the attack with Xerxes. So I don't know what he's complaining about.
We're talking about the first season. He was talking about the first season. And he played a lot more games than Xerxes.
Okay, even if we're talking the concept of the first season, the guy cannot trap a ball on his feet. I can defend him for that. Yeah. Okay, if you cannot play football, that's not my problem. Trap the ball first, and then when you get in the workload, you can complain about the workload. This sounds like an excuse. You can play football. It's just plain and simple. He's not the level. I thought at least he had the mentality to do it. Now, when I hear that he's saying, "Oh, he didn't know he was gonna get that much workload," that makes it even worse. Now we're combining somebody who clearly does not have the talent to be a striker to somebody who does not have the mentality to go with it. Come on, he needs to go then.
Luani, can I just intersect quick? Look at the first goal against Everton when Dorgu, crossed the ball to Rasmus. Rasmus ghosted the two central defenders, got in.
Against Bournemouth.
And then did the ball in. Yeah, Bournemouth, sorry. Yeah, right. Now, Bruno was where Dougie was looking to side ball. If that had been the Premier League game, Bruno would have been screaming for Dorgu to give the ball to him on the edge of the box. But what did Dorgu do? He's seen his striker move, Rasmus, played the ball back of the net. Rasmus is not at that service at Man U. I don't care what anyone says. Rasmus has not been given that service. When you give a striker that service, he will score goals.
Okay, agreed. Hold it there, Pete. I want to quickly go to Ben. Ben, are you happy about Sesko? Do you rate Sesko? Are you giddy about Sesko?
First things first. I'm not giddy about Sesko. I'd rather have Mateta, Larson from Wolverhampton, or Ollie Watkins. Preferably Mateta. I think Mateta would have been perfect for the system.
Yeah.
But in terms of like outside of the Premier League, I do see a few strengths in Sesko that I do like. I like the fact he's tall, he's physical, he's good, aerial, duties, and that's what you want for a striker. And a lot of people say that's old football. Nah, man, for me, I always want my striker to be, solid in the air, man, because I think we need to go back to that, like back to the Ibra days, man. And do you know what it is, man? See, with this striker situation, like I think, I can name off a few strikers here. Wayne Rooney, Anthony Martial, Robin van Persie, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Those four players, none of them ever really was under pressure. Anthony Martial, they weren't really under pressure because they were constantly scoring goals. They were actually having remarkable seasons, especially Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And the thing is, I can't believe I'm actually saying this. This actually might be crazy. But as soon as Bruno Fernandes comes into this team, our strikers have been non-existent. We've been in a graveyard shift.
Ben, I just want to say something. Ben, I want to, your mic is really like muffling. Something's going on. It's like something's been knocked and moved. So yeah, big up to you.
Yeah, that's my fan. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. No, back to my statement there. As soon as Bruno Fernandes comes into this club, we've not had one striker that's had any service, and I don't like Rasmus. I think Rasmus is a dreadful footballer, but you know what, I 100% agree with Nurden and Pete. He doesn't get a service. He actually doesn't get service because we all play through with Bruno Fernandes, just like what we did with Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. That's a question for everyone tonight in the comments. Once Bruno joined, is Bruno a major issue when it comes to the development of our young strikers? Yes or no? That's it. But no, man.
No.
I wish Sesko.
No.
I wish no.
0 over 10.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna put it. No.
Wait your turn, Sean. Wait your turn. We're gonna come to you.
Yeah, but with Sesko, man, I'm I wish him all the best. If it happens. I do like him. I like as well, Nurden. I don't know where you pointed it out earlier. I like a striker who's solid on their weak foot too. I watched Sesko when Northern Ireland were playing against Slovenia, and he had a whopper of a weak foot. So that's really good positive news. And the fact that he can link up play, is a positive. But the one thing I don't like is I want to see him have more touches on the opposition box, because in the stats, I don't like that. It's not good. It's not good at all. But yeah, that's my thing about Sesko.
Go ahead, Sean, and then we'll go to Lesso. So do you rate Sesko? Are you a fan of Sesko? Do you think Manchester United should have gone for more experienced kind of striker? Should we still at least have another striker the youngsters can learn from, somebody who's a bit more experienced? Do you think we should have done that, Sean, or do you think you're happy with what the business Ineos Glazers are doing? And
I mean, so I don't really like the options. I don't like the options of giddy or not happy, right? So I'm somewhere in the middle, in the sense that I totally understand the idea of a project.
Giddy just means that you're happy. That's all it means.
Not necessarily. I mean, I watch the channel a lot. Giddy has certain connotations, right? It's suggesting that you're delusional about our chances. So I'm not giddy per se, but I totally understand where the club is coming from, in the sense that
we've missed you.
We want a striker that we can mold, we can build with, right? We don't want a striker who is set in his ways. We want a striker that we can get at least 5 years, of. So before Sesko even gets to his peak, right? He can give us a good 7 to 10 years of consistent bowling. So I totally understand where the club is coming from by going for Sesko. I also, if you look around in the markets, right, there really isn't much value in terms of strikers. My preference would have been Osimhen, but that deal seems impossible. Next best option is Isak, 120 million. That's impossible.
You're not going
Um,
to get
um,
him.
I think people are kind of like deluding themselves when it comes to Mateta, because I think it's pretty clear right now that the way the market is, the minimum value for any decent player is 50 million. The moment Arsenal agreed to buy Chukwuemeka, or what's his name, from Chelsea for 50 million, that set a new floor. So I can totally see Crystal Palace. Madueke, yes. So I would be very surprised if anybody gets Mateta out of Crystal Palace for anything less than 50 million or so pounds, which is a similar price in pounds to what we're getting for Sesko. So I don't mind the deal. I think the mistake again that we're making with this Bruno obsession is that you're working backwards from an error. The problem with Højlund is that Højlund cannot control the ball. So when you pass to him, he loses the ball all the time. That's not Bruno's fault. Højlund's movement sucks. So when we're attacking, Højlund is either behind the ball or too far in front of the ball. That's not Bruno's fault. Højlund, when he does manage to get in a one-on-one, he doesn't have confidence, so he misses all his chances. That's not Bruno's fault. So like, don't allow your Bruno this thing to cloud. Højlund needs confidence and form. He needs to get into a rhythm because he has the raw materials. Basically, Højlund. Højlund has pace. He has aggression. He has the kind of raw materials that you would need from a striker you want to push the line, but he doesn't have ball control. He can't hold up play. His movement is not that good. And so somebody like Sesko, I think, gives us a target man. So if we need to hold up, and again, long ball is a legitimate form of football. The idea that you need to always pass intricate 30 passes to move the ball up the pitch, I think is a myth. It's perfectly acceptable to kick the ball from your goalkeeper straight to the striker.
I think you have to mix it up. I think
you have to mix it up.
Of course.
You have to mix it up. Yeah, so you need to be able to have a target man up front that we can say, if we're under pressure, we can send the ball up to Sesko and he will hold on to it and bring other players into play. So I don't mind the deal. I'm not giddy per se, but if I were the one in charge, personally, I would have prioritized a midfielder over a striker. But I understand where the club is coming from.
You know what, Sean? Sean, sorry to interrupt, Sean. Can I just add a little anecdote to what you're saying there? And I get what you're saying. I really do. Yeah. But this is the problem. Strikers are not supposed to have the ball for a period of time. It's like 1-2 touch max, and they put it in the back of the net. Why do we say this? Because I'm from Chester, yeah, and Ian Rush played for Chester, and Liverpool bought Ian Rush from Chester, and you all know the quality of Ian Rush, the poacher of he was as a striker in the box. You feed the striker, it takes 1, maybe 2 touches, back of the net. Strikers are not supposed to be dribblers. They're not wingers. They're not CDM. They're not number 10s. They are number 9s, and they back it in the back of the net.
Let's say, I don't agree with that, but I disagree for a couple of reasons. One, I would say, as United fans, right, we have a legacy of having diverse strikers. So this is one club that has had Wayne Rooney, different striker from Nistelrooy, different from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, different from Tevez, different from Berbatov. So like in our heyday, we've seen all kinds of strikers. And then secondly, the game has evolved. Like the game of football has evolved
to where Rooney wasn't Man United's best striker. Newsflash, he wasn't.
To me, he was
Man United's best striker.
To me, he was.
Spikey Hughes was better than
I will second to what Sean is saying. He's correct in the term that with modern football, you have the build-up phase, the progressive phase, and the finishing phase. They are interconnected. When you have the build-up phase, the midfielder is getting involved in the build-up phase, and the striker is getting involved in the progressive phase. What we tend to do as fans is we always tend to look at it from the perspective of who give the assist for him to score the goal. But a striker have to be involved in the progressive phase of the ball. He have to touch the ball, maybe pass it.
Yeah. Okay.
If you look at the sequence that go before scoring the goal, he had to be involved, pass the ball to a midfielder before receiving it
I
on
kind
the
of think
other
you're
end and
missing.
scoring, right?
You're missing what I'm saying. The
I think
longer
you were
the
saying is that
striker,
people too
excuse me, can I just say this quick? The longer the striker has the ball in the opponent's box, the easier it is for the defender to attack him and
But that's
take it
on
off
him.
him.
That's on the
So you're
striker. That's
talking
on
of
the striker.
phases of play when you just slip the ball to the striker, one touch, he bangs it in. The striker's not there to play tippy tappy with the ball. He's there to put it in the back of the net.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
agree. I agree. But that's on the striker. That's on Rasmus. If Rasmus received the ball in
No,
the
that's
box,
on the people who serve him. That's on the people who serve the ball to him.
No,
You know what?
I disagree.
I think you're both right,
on that because
Luani. I think you're both right. I think we don't create enough chances for Rasmus. Rasmus could do a lot better hold up, and I think Sean is right. The confidence is a factor. Being overplayed and played to death is another factor. But I want to bring Lesso back in, the quiet man in the stream. Lesso, Sesko is your boy. Talk to me. How good is he? What is he going to do for Manchester United? I know you're kidding. Cold or no cold, you're kidding. Talk to me.
Now you're throwing me under the bus with that one, man. But with regards to Sesko, the reason why I said I would not turn him down. Obviously I know his qualities as an individual player, but besides that, you look at the risk factor, because I'm factoring in the risk factors here. We've got a board that is crying about money. It's crying about not being able to get rid of players and in getting in players. So with the Sesko one, it makes 100% sense in the sense that he's a young player. A young player will always have suitors. I've always said that the most the most important,
because of the resale, yeah, because of the resale.
Exactly. So the aspect of resale and obviously a player's as the biggest asset to a player is the age. So that will always make a player more appealing in the market. So he'll always have suitors. Hence why even with the Højlund one, Højlund is now linked and we're able to get rid of him. If it was someone else who was older, they flop. We get a situation like we have with Casemiro. We have a situation where we have with other players within the team that we can't get rid of. So for me, it's rinse and repeat. So with the Ineos model, I'm sorry, like this makes 100% sense to go for this model because now they're trying to penny pinch. We can't have our cake and eat it at the same time. We can't be complaining and saying they don't want to spend money, but we're happy in wasting money and being reckless. So for me, I applaud them in that aspect. And yeah, and I've been listening to the debate with the whole Bruno, and everything, but it always goes back to what I said. I remember I had this debate with Sean before Amorim came. I think we remember that debate very well. I told you guys that the three players, isn't it fun? It's funny enough, isn't it? I said and I stated the three players that will be an enigma to the system that this guy wants to play. Two of them are not. One of them is almost gone. The others are at Barcelona, which is it's Garnacho, it's Rashford, and who else? Bruno. I mentioned three. The reason being, if you look at the way Sporting play, Sporting do not play that with that fluency if Bruno was in the team. Mm-hmm. You understand? So when they got rid of Bruno and were able to actually all run better their squad, because that's what they did. They did what we failed to do. You understand? So they got rid of Bruno Fernandes. They were able to finance and all run better the team. The team looks better all run. Bruno, yes, maybe have been getting as many goals and assists for them. He's been doing it even before he came to Manchester United for Sporting. But did it make Sporting better as an all-round team and more fluent? No, because everything had to go through Bruno. So does it mean that Bruno's a bad player? No. Hence why I kept reiterating it, that he's always going to be that middle problem because of as a result. You cannot you cannot replicate or anything that what Sporting are doing with Bruno in your team. You cannot do it with someone like Rashford or Garnacho, and you're expecting it to do it with Bruno. Whereas those players, do you understand?
Facts, man.
So it goes back to this. It's not a coincidence that I mentioned those three specifically, that they wouldn't work in the system that this guy's trying to play and implement. So but it was an interesting debate, and by all means, not necessarily. I don't say Bruno's a bad player, but he has been a good player for us. But in terms of us being an all-round and better team on the ball, you have to make sacrifices, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And sometimes it has to be your best player that has to go, and for the betterment of the team. And we didn't do that, and we're suffering as a result of that in this window. That is the coincidence right here. But,
you know what, Lasso? I totally agree. Bruno has been a decent player for us. I wouldn't say he's been a great player. He's been a decent player, but he's coming to his sell-by dates. He's 30 years old. Yeah, he's got 2 years left on his contract. We should have clapped his ass out of the club when the Saudis wanted 100 million for him. Do you think we're going to win the league with Bruno? No, we're not.
No.
We're not.
To be fair, but that's not on Bruno. That's not just on Bruno. We're not stable enough. We're not building a team yet, Pete. But let me just get the super chats. Pick up Adewale and I'll bring you in, Pete. Adewale says, we have the best chance creator in Europe, yet our strikers never get service. Something ain't adding up. Yes, I think that's one part of it. But also the other part of it as well, Adewale, is that we don't sustain attacks. We don't sustain the ball up the pitch for long periods. So we don't do that. And a lot of the things, Bruno, is speculative. Sometimes he just shoots. He just has a crack for no reason. You know what I mean? But yeah,
the thing
Sean and the rest of the Bruno fanboys have to admit he's better in the number 10 position than the pivot. Amorim is persisting. He must play, so we'll suffer as a team because he's not good there. I mean, another thing as well, Luani, there is an offer from Al Nassr, apparently. It's close to 100 million. But go ahead.
There is.
Yeah. The thing with Bruno is that I'm now his biggest fan, right? But I do understand that he is our main chance creator. The issue that I have with him is that with him playing, we don't have control of games because of his scattergun approach. If you if you compare him to Kobe Mino in the same position, for example, Kobe Mino, when he received the ball in the 10, he had the calm to stand up the defender. He'll find the passer, he'll create the space and shoot, right? But Bruno is almost as if he makes his passes while standing. If the defender stand him up, he will have to pass. He cannot carry the ball and beat the defender. And when he's in that midfield, we don't have control of the game. You will see the best game we played are the one where Bruno kind of toned down his aggressivity with the ball. We remember the Liverpool game where he calmed down and he was not lofting the ball everywhere and he was playing it simple. We actually controlled that game. So it's up to Amorim to talk to him and see how he can use him.
Yes, put demands on him, 100%. Pete, Sesko, are you a fan?
Look, Dino, chat, boys.
I asked you the question already, but do you think he will succeed? You said that he might not succeed. Can you give the reasons why you don't think
in this current team now? I don't think he will.
Why?
I'm not saying he can't, but the problem is like what Luani just touched on there. The problem is Bruno Fernandes. I don't care what anyone says. The problem is Bruno Fernandes because everything goes through this guy. This guy thinks he's Messi. He thinks he's Pele. He thinks he's fucking, you know what I mean? And he's just not that player. He's just not that player. He's just an average.
I didn't say that he's the problem. I didn't say he's the problem. I say he's the gift and the curse. So if
He
we
did
want to
that.
take
Look,
his assist,
look,
if he's giving us assist galore, the team,
he is, yeah.
we don't have
But you know what? When
we
you're
don't have
playing,
any
look,
creativity.
Luani, yeah, Ben, guys, yeah. Look, when I used to play football, I used to get played a lot. Was it good? No. Did it do good things at times? Yeah, it did. Does that make me the MVP player? I'll paradox this now. Everyone hated McTominay, and I did know he was shit. Yeah, went to Italy, become the MVP in Italy. Bruno will never be the MVP player in the Premiership. That's the difference right there.
All right,
That's
big up
it.
Pete.
That's
I
it.
asked about Sesko, you turn it to Bruno. Sean, are you there?
No, I know.
Big up, Sean.
But Cisco, just quick. I think Cisco will work if we have a better manager.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's it. A manager who, I'll just factor this in quick. This is the problem with Amorim is he keeps square pegging a round hole. He can't be any manager who knows when you're under pressure will go back to default formation 4-4-2. This guy doesn't even know how to play 4-4-2. End of.
100%, Pete. You see why you just say square peg and round hole? You last game, you see what he did, right? If you compare the game we played against Bournemouth to the game we played last time, the difference between Bournemouth and Everton is that Bournemouth claimed they tried to play football with us. So it was easier for us to hit them in transition when they lose the ball up the pitch. When Everton decide to go route one and then just knock it in the midfield or on the wings, where their wingers can beat our defenders for pace, or their midfielders outnumber our midfielder from 2-1, he have no answers. He noticed that we all know that in the Premier League, you cannot get away with playing two midfielders. All the heavy hitters in the Premier League, everybody from first to six, nobody plays with a midfield two. And even by winning by scoring 4 against Bournemouth, he realized that. That's why he brought Kobe Mino and Ugarte and tried to shoot Bruno into the 10. That's fitting. That's trying to fit him over there, but he know Bruno. Bruno cannot play on the wing. So from there, he's trying to invert him in the midfield, but the guy doesn't know what to do. But that's Amorim admitting that he cannot play with a single pivot. He cannot defend with a single pivot because he was hoping for Kobe Mino and Ugarte to do the cleanup, and unfortunately, still didn't work because David Moyes decided he was just gonna go with one.
Can I have my 2 pence? Go ahead, Sean.
No, I was going to say, I don't think that's entirely right per se, right? I think Amorim's system has a lot of moving parts. So he plays 2 people in midfield, but I think he also wants one of the center backs to step up, right? To provide like to be like a third midfield option, and he wants one of the wing backs to invert. So at any point in time, Patrick Dogu and Ahmad shouldn't be in defense. They should be up front, providing an outlet for the team. And then also one of the midfielders, either Licha or Lenioro, should be stepping into midfield to provide cover for the 2 midfielders. It doesn't always happen, right? The routines are not in place right now. But what I'm saying is that why I'm cautiously optimistic is that for me, I see the idea. The idea is there, the vision is there. And I want to again just encourage people not to work backwards from conclusions, right? So don't keep it in your mind that Bruno is the root of all evil and then blind yourself to other issues, or keep it in your mind that Robert Amorim is a terrible manager and then blind yourself to everything else that is going on around.
No, we're just discussing, Sean. We're not. There is no predetermined. Like I said, we accept Bruno as a good player, but does Bruno suit the system? That's the question we're asking. There's a lot of the players suit the system. Less so, I think while you were gone, Less so said it from early days. As soon as we got Amorim, he said, Less so named Garnacho, Rashford, and Bruno, and said those 3 will struggle with the system. He said that. He said that from before even the first game with Amorim.
No, yeah. I think aside from those 3, right? Sorry, go ahead, Lonnie.
Sean, I don't I don't think Amorim is a terrible manager. I just don't rate him. I don't rate his system. It's up to me. It's up to him to convince me, right? I've seen
Yeah,
a year and a half. I've seen almost a year and a half, and he haven't
yeah,
convinced me. The factual thing about the Premier League is that I just said it, from first to the sixth team in the league, all the heavy hitters, whether it's Newcastle, Aston Villa, all the way to Liverpool, nobody plays with a midfield two. That's a fact, and there is a
Neither
yeah.
reason
neither
for
do
that.
we.
Facts, left.
Neither do we
Luani,
We
now,
facts.
Luani.
no.
Luani, facts. Facts.
So
Facts. You don't get
so
nowhere in the Prem with two in midfield. It's suicide football. Seriously, it
Sean,
is.
Sean, you say neither do we play with a midfield, right? With a midfield too. I'll beg to differ. You know why? Because you just say right now that our center back have to be aggressive and drop into the midfield. The reason for that is because we're trying to make up the numbers. Once you have three defenders, you are definitely playing with a one midfield less than the opposition, who's lined up in a 4-3-2-1 or in a 4-3-3 automatically, because the opposition split their two defenders and they put a goalkeeper in between. We have three defenders lined up in a flat, so we play
No,
with
but
one man less somewhere on the pitch,
no,
and it has to be
Luani,
the midfield.
I disagree with you that no other team plays two in midfield because I think it's obvious to me that a lot of other managers are solving this problem by inverting their wing backs, right? So what we see with Arteta, Pep, the likes is that they make up for the extra man in midfield by inverting wing backs. The difference is that every other position of the team knows exactly what they're supposed to do, right? They all know their roles and they all have the players in those positions to execute. So what I'm saying is that at United, right, we're supposed to see something. We're supposed to see the defenders stepping up into midfield, the wing backs pushing up, right, and providing an option. So our outlets from this United team is not through the middle. It's not supposed to be through the middle. And even the Ogate example,
What
right,
do you
during the
mean
halftime
not through
interview.
the middle? The fucking midfield is everything in football.
Yeah, but he
Sean,
doesn't believe in it.
seriously,
But
man.
but B,
Seriously.
the coach doesn't believe in that. He believes in the centre backs playing some of the balls and ball carrying into the last
Yeah,
third.
like
So he
so,
believes
Ah,
in
no,
that
no,
way of
no.
playing.
stop.
We just
Yeah,
got to accept that.
Sean,
We have to
Sean,
accept that he doesn't.
Sean, you see
No,
what you just
Luani, one
said
second.
about
Luani, 1
yeah.
second. Luani, 1 second. Beat everybody 1 second. We have to accept as Manchester United fans that in our history of 100-something years, we've never had a manager who's played three at the back, right? Other than Van Gaal now and again, and Van Gaal's system actually was pinned down. We just didn't have the attack. Actually, the midfield functioned all right. The three centre backs, the wing backs functioned all right, and he played it now and again. Sometimes he went to four, right? But Fergie, when he tried it never worked because he didn't have the players to
No.
make it work, right? So we have to admit that about ourselves, that the way we see midfield and the way that we've been used to and our history, and the last midfield that we had, I think, is Herrera, Matic and Pogba. And we didn't get to see a whole lot because Herrera got injured, right? But we have to just accept that the people are in charge, have made a decision to hire a coach who have a specific way of playing, where I made the video. The video's out there. Honestly, you can find it in the channel. I said Amorim, like Ten Hag, vacates the midfield because he plays in the way that he plays through the centre halves. The two wide centre halves are asked to carry the ball, to take the ball into the last third. The wide guys are involved to get involved in terms of playing passes through direct into the pockets, and or even to actually carry the ball and to make that extra man into midfield or even an attack when Manchester United have the ball. Now, when we lose it, the way that apparently from articles that I've been reading, the way that he's been training United is that once we lose it, everybody comes together, tight, close down the space, close down the ball, wins it back again, and then we continue again. But unfortunately, as we got exposed, again, it was pre-season. We have to put that out there. We have to be objective. Everton absolutely smashed those tactics out the window. Everton played and went direct, and bully the hell out of us for knockdowns.
Yeah.
So we have to accept that our version, what we're used to, right? What we're used to in terms of what we understand the Premier League. We understand the Premier League more than Amorim will ever do, because we've grown up watching this league and watched Manchester United and understand the battle because there's the level of physicality and the pace and the power that you need to be able to succeed. You have to have the engine and people who can battle for second balls. You've got people who can actually stabilize that midfield. Now, even before he came, with Ten Hag, the midfield was dog shite. With Oli, the midfield was dog shite. At the end of the day, it's not because of their personnel. Certain coaches believe in different way of playing. Oli, it was counter-attack football, carried on from Jose. Ten Hag was continuing with that counter-attacking football in the first season. Second season, he played with just one pivot instead of two. And then we got exposed with the Bascalification of football and he got the sack. And I was calling it out in January. Remember, I was like, this football is not sustainable. But anyhow, the point I want to say is that we have to accept, and this is where I agree with Sean, there may be a shock. I agree with Sean. People,
no, Sean said something very important.
Listen, hold on to whatever's next to you. It's not an earthquake. I've agreed with Sean. It's not a tsunami. So, Sean, and I accept that, Sean, that he doesn't believe in playing through midfield. So we have to put that aside and hope for the best in the way that we think. Hopefully, his system, his way of thinking is different. But the problem is, Sean, why have we not signed another quick centre half that is a ball player? Because Maguire can't do what he's asking him to do. Luke Shaw can't do what he's asking them to do. Masraoui certain times may not be able to do what he's asking them to do.
Two broken centre backs.
The two players that I
think, Martinez.
Martinez and Euro are the only two that can actually Martinez because of his passing, and Euro because of the way he's got the physicality, he's got the pace and power and that technicality to be able to join in with the attack. So that's what I think. And I also think you need a fly goalkeeper as well if you're going to play the way we're going to play.
True.
So I think all those things can be true. But go on, let's come back and then we go to Lawani.
I agree with you as well, right? And for me, that's why I'm trying to understand what Amorim is trying to achieve, right? And then judging him based on the ideas. So based on the system, the way I see it, I think it's a version of what we see from Pep, what we see from Arteta, what we see from these other teams, where to make up for the extra money in midfield, you're inverting your wing backs. What needs to happen at United is that every single player on the pitch needs to understand their role. So when the ball is in this zone, where am I supposed to be? When the ball is in that other zone, where am I supposed to be? Now, according to Amorim, he did not have time to do this kind of training throughout 6 months of last season. But in the course of preseason, he has had time to implement some of these instructions. Personally, what I saw from the games against Bournemouth, West Ham, and Everton, I saw an improvement in how we press. I saw that. I saw an improvement in pressing. I saw an improvement in ball recovery. Yeah. Where we are weak, in my opinion, in midfield, our weaknesses are in two areas. Number one, neither Ugarte, Bruno or Casemiro is good receiving the ball back to the opposition goal in the heart of defense. They are poor at that. Second thing that we're poor at is in second balls. So whether it's physicality or positioning, our midfielders are not good at second balls. But I don't think you would ever get from Amorim the kind of midfield of Paul Scholes or Michael Carrick, where one midfielder is switching play from left to right and dictating the game. No, get that out of your mind. We're not going to play that kind of football at all. What needs to happen is that everybody else, the wing backs, the center backs, the attacking tens, the striker, they all need to understand their roles to make up for the gaps basically in midfield. So from my perspective, for me, it's positive signs, right? Like I think again, my expectation for this season is that top 6, top 8, and so I'm calm. Even if we don't solve the midfield problem right now, I think we have enough to beat Everton home and away, to beat West Ham home and away, to beat Southampton home and away. So all those games last year where we dropped unnecessary points, I think we have enough right now in our team to win those games. So even if we struggle against the top 6, the likes of Spurs, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, that should still put us in a decent position so that in the coming
Oh
summer,
my God.
right, you
Sorry,
can
Sean.
strengthen again and move forward. No, I'm not trying to convince Ellington of anything in particular, because I think you specifically are working backwards. So when they ask you, will Sesko succeed? The answer is no, right?
Can I just
Everything you do,
enlighten
my
you,
view,
Sean?
is
Can
kind
I
of boring
just
to me.
enlighten you, mate? Yeah. We
Mm-hmm,
don't have
mm-hmm.
a fucking goalkeeper of any note. We have a left back, Luke Shaw, who's more broken than a fucking car crash. Yeah. We
Luke
have
Shaw is
a
not a starting
centre
11
back,
player.
Harry
Try again.
Maguire, who's slower than your fucking mother. Yeah. We have Martinez, who's currently doing a fucking Phil Jones. Yeah. We have Lenny Yoro, who's a semi novice. We have Aiden Nevin, who is a fucking novice. Yeah. We have Delit, who's broken like Martinez. And we have Diego Dallo, who plays when he wants to play. What can fucking possibly go wrong with that in 38 games in the next coming season? Seriously, what can go wrong? Tell
You know
me.
Yeah,
what?
I don't take any of that seriously, right? In Lenteno, right? I don't take anything you said seriously, because it's, for me, it's what Nigerians call beer parloyans. Makes zero sense.
That's called reality, mate. It's
No,
called
yeah,
fucking reality.
sure,
That's what
sure.
we've got. That's what we've got.
Leniero is a solid young talent.
And we've got a
Maguire is not
manager that
going.
wants to play high intensity forward football where just one little ball over the top will fucking rip them a new ass.
I'm trying
That's
to go
what's
over
coming
what
to us next season.
what
Go
Sean
ahead, Luani. Yes.
Sean. So what I agree with you and Nuruddin in terms of our outlets in this system are the wingers. That's true. And that is why my problem is. If you put a point in the middle of the pitch, right, and you draw a cycle with a radius of 20 meters, I will be curious to see the heat map of our midfield in that cycle. We don't play through the middle. And that is where the problem is. My struggle with this manager is I want him to realize the demand of the league that he's playing in. If the burden of the creativity goes to your lateral center back, the ball goes to them, they get pressed, and you go route one with one pass over the top or two passes, whether your 10, both of your 10 come and ask for the ball, and from the ball go from your center backs to your 10 and then to your wingers.
Luani, I don't. Luani, sorry to cut you off.
Are wait, just
Luani,
let me elaborate. You're not doing anything special because this league is physical by nature.
no, but Luani,
You trying to match the physicality of Dogu against 60 or 70% of the team in the league. They will match that, no problem,
Luani,
right?
forget Doggo, right? And again, sorry to cut you off, but I just want to flag that against Everton, we saw three different scenarios of the exact same pattern of play with Ahmad and Mbuemo, basically. And I'm saying in an ideal situation, right? If you're building that from the back, you want Ahmad to be the one receiving the ball instead of Dallo, right? You want Mbuemo to be the one receiving the ball up front instead of Garnacho or Rashford. And so with those players in the outlets, right? If you have Ahmad and Mbuemo next to Lenny Euro, that side is going to progress the ball a lot better than if you had Mazraoui, Dalot, and Garnacho there, for example. And we saw that. We saw the same move happen 3 times, where the penalty that we considered for Ahmad, the shot that Mbeumo had, and the shot that Cunha had. We saw it. We saw the exact same move where Mbeumo dropped deep between him and Ahmad. They played out of the back. Next thing you know, Bruno is releasing a through pass for somebody. So like
It's risky football.
it's risky, but with the right personnel, I think it can work.
Okay,
I
want to bring in Ben.
Yeah.
Lovani, hold it there. I want to bring in Ben because I'm less so. Ben, do you think, I'll say with the same thing about the midfield, do you think neglecting the midfield will cost us?
I'm leaning, obviously, I always look at football and the way you win football matches is in the midfield. I am not personally a big fan of Amorim, using the wing backs as obviously his width. I wasn't really particularly a big fan of it. I could see now the system, being developed even more.
Do you accept that? Do you accept that he doesn't believe in playing through
No,
midfield.
I don't. I really don't. But
But
Nerd, I will say this. But Nerd,
Can
I
you
will
not
say
see
this.
though that he's using the centre backs, the wide centre backs to carry the ball and to play the passes and to go long. Some Bruno may drop off as a number 10. Somebody makes it run. Try to do that. Can you not see that in the patterns the way we try to play? He's tried to get the ball forward. I like Sean was saying earlier. That is all right, but to me, we cannot be predictable. And the way we played out with Mbeumo and Cunha is a risky thing because you're playing a blind ball into midfield, and teams can set traps. And once they work that out, it's easier than to attack our back five. But carry on. But do you accept that he doesn't see what we think about midfield? Do you agree with that, Ben? Do you not see that? That he doesn't believe in midfield, playing through midfield. He believes in the centre backs. Do you not see that?
Oh no, I know. Even we seen in Sporting, he never, like, even on his like highlights when people say this is Ruben Amorim ball, you never seen a goal created from the midfield. You always seen it from either the 10 or the wing back. You always seen that. But you know what, man? Like, I mean, I always raise the issue. I've said it for so many years. Man United have never ever played a 4-3-3, and since Matic, Herrera, and Pogba. Ever since that, we've always played a 4-2-2, and then 1.
Yeah.
Sorry. 4-2, as in like the 2 in the
Or
pivot.
treble 2.
Then a Bruno sitting in the 10, and then obviously the 3 in the forwards. We've never played that since Ander Herrera and obviously all them ones. But do you know what? In Amorim's defense, so big up to Jarvis. Jarvis showed me a clip, and it was the Bournemouth game, and it was Bournemouth were trying to play it from the back, and Bournemouth are a very good team. We always give praise to Bournemouth. I love Areola as a coach, and the way we pressed, I am kind of with Sean. I remember you, Sean, you were saying that we're pressing a lot better. I 100% agree, because what I seen with the 2 10s, the striker, the 2 in the midfield, they were so far up in the opposition's box, right? So this is perfect. They did not have anywhere to go, Bournemouth. All they had to do was making an insane pass into the midfield, because there was one person in that midfield literally by himself. And what happened? They played a lucky ball through the midfield, then it's open. But you know what the issue is? You can, like, in Amorim's defense, and I don't like the fact we're playing 2 in the midfield. I don't like it at all. So don't get carried away. You can get away with the risk of having one of the centre backs coordinating with each other, because we didn't coordinate jack shit on that game, to push up and be super aggressive. Because the thing is, if people say, but if you push up, then you're going to leave more gaps. No, because the wing backs, obviously, they're meant to go super far forward, but they're meant to track back as well. Amad and Dorgu can't be just staying up at the top and just, okay, I'm playing as a winger now instead of a wing back. It's the same with the 2 10s. When we're playing out from the back, the 2 10s actually have to drop deep. So the wing backs actually have to stay up in the pitch. The 2 in the 10s actually might have to help the 2 in the midfield. And that's how I see with Amorim's system. Now, the thing is with me, if he doesn't get into these 3 centre backs when we're playing off the ball, when they have the ball, if they don't tell De Ligt, Mazraoui, Maguire, all these players that when the midfield is beaten, if he does not say to one of those centre backs to be aggressive and just lunge in and just put pressure on them, then we're going to have a massive, massive issue. Worse than Ten Hag, because you can't do that in coaching. You can't. And it's mad that I'm actually seeing it this way, because when I seen that clip, Jordan, because you were with me, with Jarvis, it was scary. It was fucking scary that the amount of space Bournemouth had when they played for the midfield. It was fucking scary. But you know what, man?
Ben, it's called an art knife through butter.
Yeah.
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 I want to go to Leicester.
My final thing, it can work. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it can work, guys. But he just needs to get into the fucking player's brain, especially the 3 centre backs. Especially the 3 centre backs and the 2 wing backs have to track back, man. They have to track back and do their job in the midfield.
Big up King Sol. Big up to Alternative Facts. Big up for always encouraging people to like the video. So talk to me. Are we neglecting the midfield? Are we going another season where we're neglecting the signing of quality players to be able to play in that position?
Guys, let's just keep it 100. This guy's not going to be here when Christmas is.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what? Let's know the deal.
you know,
Let's
throughout
know
a lot of, you know, throughout listening to everyone's, you know, and fair play, I agree with a lot of your points, but you know, this points to one definitive factor here. A lot of these things have to go right for it to even look decent, for it to even be decent. So it's too many factors against than for, if you think about it. So for me, as much as I like the manager, but his system is just too rigid, it's too specific. It requires a set of special players. And for me, that's a recipe for failure. We've seen it with all the managers we tried this year. So you know, the guy, unfortunately, you know, they've set him up to fail anyways. You know, they half believed in what he was trying to do first and foremost. He doesn't have the personnel anyways. So it's a non-starter, to be honest. And for me, this just points to one disaster. We can talk about how something looked good for 35 minutes. We did that with Tanakh, you know, and we did that with any other manager that has failed. And like I say, it's all definitive. It all comes to one thing, and it has always led to one thing. And we see where this is going. This manager should have, you know what annoys me about this football club is that, you know, if you see that something is not working, or clearly it's not going to work, rather than, you know, not care, or rather try and not invest in it anyways, you know, we could have just got rid of the guy, went back to a back four, and went back to the basics, where people knew what to do. You know, we had a 3 midfield. We could have had a 3 midfield. We could even with Cunha and Mbeumo.
That's out.
Yeah,
When you're in the shit,
even if
4-4-2 is the default mode.
With Mbeumo and Cunha, they still can fit in a 4-3-3 formation, anyways. So for me, you know, a system like that is very simple, and it keeps to the simplicity. You know. And these teams right now are the ones who are, you know, at the moment who win consistently, if you think about it. Even with this system, you may win a season. You may get away with it for a season and maybe, you know, snatch a trophy or whatever, but you're getting caught out the next season. It's the same thing what happened with Inter Milan in the Serie A. We forget that. You know, so it's a non-starter for me, and then it shows its deficiency because it's not sustainable anyways going forward, you know. And these teams already in the Premier League already know they're not idiots. They're not idiots. So once they found you out, you need to adapt. You need to readapt your game and your approach. 100%. So for me, he's a gunner, unfortunately, and we can have all the optimism we want to have. The man is gone, guys. We need to just accept that. And, you know, that's why I told you guys I already wrote off the season, you know, and I don't think we're getting 6th or 8th. With the way we're playing right now, I'm sorry. We're going to see more or less the same problems. We're just going to slightly improve because we got slightly better players than we did. But we forget that we've also got the AFCON as well. So some of these players will not be here during that December period. Up until January. So people forget.
I think it's about 3 games. I think it's about 3 games. So in Mbeumo, Ahmad, Rawi, Unana can stay.
Guys, how many game of the preseason do we have left? How many game of the preseason?
1 game.
One game.
Okay, so it's fair to say that we've been through 3 quarters of the preseason already. With all the training session that he has, right? Granting that Mbeumo just showed up. So 3 pattern of play in 90 minutes is what we have to rely on to say that we're making a progress and we having hope and it's encouraging. No, it's not enough. Do you know why we didn't see that pattern repeat itself over 90 minutes?
Talk.
Do you know why we didn't have it repeat over 90 minutes? Because goddamn David Moyes, the dinosaur, made adjustments. He made adjustments. That's why he just died down. That's the thing we're trying to avoid. Look, Liverpool came in with Klopp. They installed their gang press. They won one league out of it. And then a season later, they did die down. There was a season where they had so much injury as a result of sustained playing that intensity that they end up finishing 7th. Now they bring in a coach that say, you know what, I'm going to calm down the waters. We're going to play through the midfield. The same Gravenberg that was not starting a game for club, being a main fixture in that midfield, they won the league comfortably. You cannot play in the Premier League without playing through the midfield. You're just trying to match physicality for physicality. Maybe you can do that in Germany or somewhere else, but here you can't do that. If you look at the way Glasner deployed the same system, Glasner have 2 DM. He have 2 DM. He have Lerma. He have either Huge or Watson. And then he will invert Eze and then invert Sarr. And sometimes he will bring their striker almost all the way down. Mateta almost all the way down. So he have five body in that midfield, and he know how to keep the ball. If you cannot keep the ball, it doesn't matter who you invert. We don't keep the ball long enough to practice what we're trying to do. That's the issue we have. We need to be able to keep the ball.
Come on, Luani. I again, the problem is, I think people are just, we keep the ball. Our problem is that we keep the ball too much.
Believe your eyes. Sean, believe your eyes.
No,
18 fucking defeats. 18
calm down,
defeats. Stop defending this epic fail of a manager. He's an epic fail.
Yes, sure. So I mean, in case you've forgotten, right? Nobody was pleased with. Yeah.
Sean, 1 second. To be fair, what Alien is saying is what Ruben Amorim said on the weekend. He said any other club I would have been sacked. But go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, yes, and so my response is no shit, right? If anybody's saying that Amorim needs to do better, like duh, like it's a no-brainer. It goes without saying.
That was fucking Man United, mate.
Even Amorim himself knows that, right? So, like, I mean, you're not saying anything interesting if you're saying the manager needs to do better, right? That's why I'm responding the way I'm responding. But specifically for you, Luani, I disagree that we don't keep possession. In fact, the problem is that the possession is kept in a very unproductive way. So we do keep the ball a lot, but the ball stays between the 3 center backs, going from left to right. Whereas what Amorim is looking for is for either the left center back or right center back to be forward looking. So that's why he likes Euro, because Euro looks forward. That's why we like Licha. Licha looks forward. But when we play Maguire or Mazraoui or Dalot, they don't move forward the way we're supposed to.
I give it a news flash, mate. Fun fact: the ball boys out the ball more than Man United last season.
Right. Yeah. So again, like I think we're all on the same page that Amorim needs to do better, right? I think the difference is that for me, football is a simple game. It's a romantic game. It doesn't make sense for me to.
It is a simple game.
It's a simple game.
Fucking overcomplex. And it's fucking players trying to make it overcomplex instead of playing it simple.
It's also for me a romantic game. So there is absolutely no way that I'm going into the season not optimistic or not hoping for the best from the team. So I expect Amorim.
Fair enough.
I expect Amorim to use an X factor, right? Which is why we hired him. There is no system. There is no system on paper, right? That is a genius, all encompassing system. There is no system itself that wins games. It's the manager and it's the coaching that wins game. Everybody and their uncle plays 4-2-3-1 in modern football. Most teams play 4-2-3-1, but Ten Hag's 4-2-3-1 is different from Arteta's 4-2-3-1. So what I'm looking for from Amorim, regardless of the system, is to make the right decisions at the right times. When it comes to personnel, when it comes to the players and all that kind of stuff. So, I back the manager. I expect that any manager who would ultimately be successful has to be given a chance to fail first at United. United is a special club.
Already, mate.
Let me just say
him a chance to fail first. He's already epically fucking failed at the club.
Yeah. Let me just say one thing though. If we had Ander Herrera still this club in his prime, right? Now prime Ander Herrera, and Nemanja Matic, right? Or it could be a Baleba, could be anyone, like anyone you can
number
think.
six. And number six.
I generally know, but Herrera was like, he was a mix, but he's like the most balanced midfielder we've actually had, because he can attack and he can defend, and he's good in the ball. I generally do see this, guys, and people might think I'm delusional. If we brought two of those like midfielders in, just those two profiles, I generally do think you'll definitely see, yes, we might not be playing for the midfield a lot, but
he won't play it, man.
But you will see, in terms of the possession and controlling the tempo of the game, you will see a drastic improvement. And I hope, I hope Amorim proves me wrong. I don't think he is the right man, but I generally do believe that.
Let's also correct this notion.
Luani said Glasner plays with two proper CDMs, Wharton and Will Hughes. Right? We play with Bruno Fernandes, who's not a 6 or 8. We play with Kobe Mainu, who's not a 6 and an 8. We play with Ugarte, who's not a 6. He's an 8. So we're going to play with Casemiro, who's literally dead. Collier, who's an 8. The list goes on, man. And look, you might think I'm delusional because you can still coach players, but no, I don't generally believe that. I generally believe that if you get two midfielders in those two positions, I'm sorry, but I'm not backing Amorim in this situation. But I'm in his defense. I do believe we will see a drastic improvement in that midfield.
Wait, Ben. So what are we? Ben and the panel, right? Ellen, everybody. So these midfielders that we're looking for, is that so that we can win the league, so that we can survive, so that we can even get to, so that we can even get to top 6? So this midfield solution that we're looking for is just to get us to top 6. If it's that, then we might as well sack the manager now. If that's the.
But it's not that though, Sean. It's just it's patterns. You will see way more patterns with two proper number 6s. The two in the midfield should never be in the fucking opposition box. This is what Amorim's not understanding. The two in the midfield should be beside each. Yeah, bro. It just should be the two 10s and the two wing backs and the attacker that should be in that opposition box.
No, but Ben, think about it for
the Premier League.
Ben, think about what you're saying. Ben, think about what you're saying for a second. You think about what you're saying for a second, right? In Arsenal, Declan Rice and Thomas Partey. Declan Rice shows up in the box a lot. Let's go down the list. Liverpool, only Gravenberch really sits back. Liverpool's midfielders are very mobile.
He doesn't, man. He doesn't. McAllister's always beside him. McAllister's always beside him. This is why. Liverpool.
John, why did Man City fail last season? Because their main midfielder, Rodri, was injured. Rodri is not a forward midfielder. He stays within the box and progresses the play. We don't have a midfielder that progresses the play.
That's propaganda. The idea that the difference between Pep, how you say it's one midfielder that caused Man City to crash out the way they did.
No.
Come on.
There were other factors, but it was
other factors.
So there's no team in the world in the history of football. I think I can't think of anyone that played two defensive. Even Antonio Conte, at the peak of his 3-5-2, he realized that he had to bring in Fabregas right into midfield because he did start with Kante and Matic, but then again, there's a balance, right? Everybody in the team has to be working in sync. So the wing backs need to be where they're supposed to be.
Man United at the midfield of Brian Robson, Ince and Cantona, don't you? You do know that, don't you?
I'm not sure the point that you're making, because even at its peak, right, these midfielders were high scoring. At least one or two out of those three were high scoring midfielders, right? At our peak, Paul Scholes was an attacking midfielder also. He used to score a lot of goals, right? You hardly find Lampard scored goals, Gerrard scored goals. There are very few teams who play with two extremely defensive midfielders. It's very rare. And it doesn't show up in modern football in any other team.
But at Amorim's system, you have to, Sean. Though you have to play with two like proper DMs, man. This is how Amorim's gonna
not necessarily, Ben. Not necessarily.
No, you do.
Yeah, I don't think so. But sure.
You've got one that can do their job, but we need
yes,
a
facts.
1-6.
Yeah,
We need a 6.
We need 2 6.
Big up to Jarvis,
Noordin,
and I'll bring the one in.
just to sum
Let me
up,
just get
like
this.
what I'm.
Let me just get this, and then you can come in. Big up to
Jarvis.
Jarvis. Man, make sure you subscribe to Tactical Devils, people. I told you all 12 months ago we should have signed Santa Baker, but no, he was the new McTominay. I didn't say he was the new McTominay. I talked about him being injury prone. Hands up. Hands up, people. Hands up. But big up. Go ahead, Luwani.
So,
and then it's the last comment. We go
start,
around. It's everybody's last comment.
Yeah. So my last comment today, most of the things that we're saying, Sean, Noordin, Ben,
big up Susie.
I don't disagree with. I'm looking at the bigger picture, right? I want us to stop blaming the personnel. Like if we bring better player, automatically the product will get better. That's true. It will get better, but it will not get better enough to get us where we need to be, right? I look at Crystal Palace, for example, the team that play the same system that we play. The way they set up, man for man, hand on heart, I can say that they have a better team than us in every position, man for man, right? But I look at them as an advanced stage of where we're trying to get because they have better players and they were versed in the system.
Crystal Palace.
But yeah, Crystal Palace, right? And still, we even with that level of competence, they still can break into the top 6. That's where I'm looking at. Even if you give Amorim all the star power that he needs, he will not be able to break in the top 6, not because he's a bad manager, but fundamentally the philosophy of this system is not compatible with this league. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. Some people could say that. Obviously, it was the Premier League's proper, changed a lot in the last couple of years. But Antonio Conte won a league with.
But that was long time ago.
Yeah, but he still did it. Was about, what was it, 7-8 years ago? He did it? Was it 7-8 years ago?
If you look at Antonio Conte, when he won the league and the managers that were managing in the league at this point, now we have
you can only play what's put in front of you.
A lot of young managers that are tactically versed. If you come and you leave space anywhere on the pitch, the science of football have gone on.
No, but there wasn't space in Antonio Conte's midfield.
Listen, I actually believe whatever the system was, Chelsea had good enough players to win the league anyway.
Exactly. They had N'Golo Kante, who was basically 2-in-1. They had Victor Moses playing the best football of his life. They had Diego Costa at the peak of his powers. Fabregas, world-class midfielder, right? They had a team.
Hazard, best player in the league.
Hazard, right? Like they had a solid team, right? So, like again, I'm with people who say the personnel isn't all that matters necessarily. It's a mix of everything. I think the manager, there were far too many games last season that we lost that I think we can win this year because I just disagree that Crystal Palace has better players than us. I don't understand how. I think the reason why we sacked Ten Hag, the reason why we're so upset with Amorim, the premise, from my perspective, is that we are a better team than 15th. When we sacked Ten Hag, it was because we're a better team than 8th. I still believe that. I still believe that the players in this team are good enough to get us to top 6 or top 8. Where we would lose points is because the manager is making mistakes, either in personnel or in formation. So for me, the jury is out on this system, whether it could work or not. Like my final word is, I'm hopeful this season, right? I'm hopeful, I'm cautiously optimistic, and I'm looking forward to seeing the team succeed. I don't care about being proven right, because I said something 12 months ago.
Now,
so
listen,
yeah,
you have to have hope and be optimistic. I understand that.
Of course, yeah.
There are worrying signs.
Crystal Palace have
so
English international in their team. They have French international in their team. Don't
Crystal Palace have got good players. They've got good players. They have good players. But I don't know. I wouldn't say that they all over the pitch as a squad. They have better players than us. I just think we've been. Klasner is a good coach. He's a good coach. He got the since the system. He developed them and he got the best out of them. They don't have the strength and depth that we would have. But let's go to Peter for his last word of the show. Peter, go ahead.
Well, looking towards the season, at the state of play we got, more pain. That's it, boys. More pain. Personally,
another storm coming. Storm Flores.
well, Dino, look, guys, I just don't think Amorim gets the Premiership. Seriously. Whether he's a good manager, bad manager, that's debatable. You know, his record at Sporting speaks for itself. You could also say that about Arne Slot at Liverpool. Yeah. People would argue that Jurgen Klopp is the better manager than Arne Slot, but Arne Slot won the league last season in a canter without getting preferably his players in. So it swings and roundabouts from that viewpoint. We're in for bad times. We have no midfield. Look, I'll just say this and I'll say it quick. Goalkeeper, none. Left back,
best goalkeeper, Heaton.
Yeah, well,
29-year-old Heaton.
It doesn't matter, Dino. No goalkeeper. Left back, sure. Well, the guy is still 7 seasons out of 10 seasons at Man United. Okay, yeah. Oh, we could drop.
Harry Maguire finishing his career at United.
Harry Maguire, no pace. Yeah. Martinez, perpetually injured. Yeah. Delit, semi-perpetually injured. Lenny Yoro, you know, a novice. He had a season last season. He's still a novice. Yeah. Aiden Evan, a semi-novice. Yeah. Mazraoui, yeah, probably our best defender at this moment in time at Man United, and he's a right back. Yeah. What could possibly go wrong in a 38-game season coming up in the brutal league of the Premiership? Seriously, guys, seriously, we're talking about getting midfielders in, getting the striker in, when teams just have to pop one little ball over the midfield with a striker or the midfielder with a bit of pace, clapped. Jeez. And people think we're going to get 6. You're in a fucking delusional space if you think we're even going to get 10th with our current squad.
There you go, Pete. There you go, Pete. Very optimistic there about the season, Pete. He's excited. I don't know if you can tell. He's jumping to bits.
It's just facts, though, boys, isn't it? It's just facts, isn't it?
Yeah. Last word from you, and then we go to Ben, and then Sean, and then go ahead.
Yeah, no, Pete. Funny enough, he said what we're all scared to say. To be honest, we're screwed, man. And we wrote off the season immediately when we kept this manager, and we decided that we're gonna do a couple of U-turns. I mean, this manager is sounding more like Brock Lesnar every single time. Here comes the pain, because that's all I'm hearing. It's always pain, this, pain that. So honestly, jokes aside, it's quite sad, to actually even not be up to have any sort of optimism into this going into a season. It's heartbreaking, honestly, and there's no fan that wants to be right or anything or wrong. It doesn't matter. We all want to win here, and it's sad to have to look at the truth and face it, and unfortunately with us, this manager, is pretty much sealed his fate. The board has also sealed his fate on his behalf. They didn't even waste time with that. And I think at best, if he goes as early as they can sack him, and we bring in someone, and then we revert back to a back 4, we may have a chance of at least, getting 9th or 8th or 7th if we're lucky. So that's the realistic approach, unfortunately, going forward. But yeah.
Big up. Let me just get Adewale. Big up Adewale for the super chat. He says, what people need to realize is not about having the best players, it's about having the best players for the system and the roles you want those players to play. The team that's functional will always be better individuals. Facts. 100%. Unless you've got just pure world-class individuals who can just grab the game by the crop. There are some players who are just, you might have a better team, you might play better than them, they just come up with just magical moments. That can also be true. But yeah, on the whole, we agree with you. Go ahead, Sean. Last word from you.
Yeah.
No, actually, Sean, I'm gonna go last because you're gonna give us the most optimism. Actually, stay there.
Sure,
I'll go
sure,
quickly
yeah.
to Ben. Ben, last word from you.
Okay, Sean rocks.
Yes.
Yes.
Big up people, big up Nerdin, big up the panel. Appreciate you having me on. And big up the chat. Yeah, man. Looking forward for the season. Obviously, if it's going to be a storm or not. I don't believe Amorim will survive. Me personally. And then we just get off to first things first. I still stand by my statement. Not selling Bruno Fernandes will cost us for 5 or 6 years of like progressing. And so that's out of the way. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm sorry, but he will cost us. Like the fact we've turned down 215 million is just embarrassing, man. When we could have invested so much money in the midfield. With Amorim, with this season, the preseason so far, I'm liking what we're doing in terms of on the ball when we're on the final third, the wing backs as well in the first phase of play. What I'm looking at for Amorim this season, and this is if he survives or not. If he doesn't do this, he will be sacked. Honestly, probably after the first 5 games. Number one, when they have the ball and we're pressing high up the pitch, all of us, when we get beaten in the midfield, one of the centre backs has to be aggressive. If we don't see any of that this season, it's good night Vienna. It's good night Vienna. That's the first one. And then the second one, which is even more important, the fact we don't have a ball playing keeper to allow us to play out for the first phase of play is another one. Obviously, we've still got Heaton. Bayender can't pass a ball. Onana just goes long. And then finally, which is the big red flag, we don't have any midfielders. This is it. If we don't get any midfielders, it's good night Vienna. And I agree with Peter. We probably won't finish. We probably will finish at least best 10th, and that's my honesty. And the fact that we haven't seen any outgoings. Shame on you, Ineos. You fucking bunch of frauds. The fact that I'm seeing stadium PR shit again, that Stadium of the North, all this bollocks. Shame on you, man. And I look forward to the start of the season. I do have optimism with Sean. I want to win. I want to win like the rest of the years. I want Man United to win, get back to the top. And by doing that, you have to invest in the most important position in football, and that is the midfield. The midfield. We've been crying out for the midfield for the past 10 fucking years, man, and we still haven't addressed it, man. So yeah, big up for having me on. Free Palestine every fucking day, man.
Big up. Listen, just a bit of breaking news, quite half an hour ago. Understand that Benjamin Sesko has made it clear this evening he wants to join Manchester United. Newcastle offered the terms, and their bid to Leipzig remains strong, but they're too close. But there is now a growing sense of confidence in Manchester United. Sesko will join if the club reach a deal. Manchester United's focus now try to reach an agreement with Leipzig. That is where we're at. Big up. I just want to big up everybody. Love and like. I hope he comes, and I hope he's a success. I hope he proves doubters like me wrong. I'm not doubting him because of his ability. I'm doubting that Manchester United is a different type of football club with no really stability or a proper structure in terms of we've got very toxic culture, and he'll be trending because he'll be missing in action. Because like most strikers, he'll be missing in action because we don't create enough, because we don't sustain the attack constantly up the pitch. We don't hem teams in because we don't have a synergy of winning the ball back. And the midfielders, we misprofile a lot of our players. I do, for a lot of it, agree his assessment in the midfield. In terms of Casemiro's the only guy that actually can play as the number 6. But it is what it is. The Bruno dilemma is what Adewale, as it's talking about, absolutely the wrong player for the system, but we keep him because individual achievements. The other guy is Diego Dalot. Diego Dalot is not a win-back. I don't care what anybody tells me, he's not a win-back. And I can see that from data, and he's going to be a problem. He's got the number 2. We're going to get the Obrigado tax. Him and Bruno will play every fucking game, and that's
question.
Guaranteed, guaranteed.
Question: Diego Dallo or Tariq Michel?
Tariq Michel. Because I'm not feeling it. So you're like, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's true that Dalot is going to start every game. I think if we're being honest, right? If
Sean, but here
everybody's
we go,
fit,
Sean. 1 second, Sean. To see us up for the show, it's been a brilliant show tonight. I've really enjoyed it. We've had a full house here. 5 top Manchester United fans with different various opinions, and it's been a brilliant show. Sean, forever the optimist, is gonna sound us off tonight.
Is anyone Sean?
Sean,
Bruno
take it
Fernandes,
away.
best player in the world.
Yeah.
Sean, take it away.
Just to correct a few things, right?
Everybody, do me a favor, please mute. Everybody, mute your mics. Do not disturb a word of what's spoken. Mute your mic.
Part of what gives me some hope and confidence for the next season is that I know for a fact that Dalot is not going to start if Ahmad and Dogwa are fit. So any game where Ahmad and Dogwa are fit, Dalot is going to be on the bench as the wing back. He's not going to start. So that's some confidence there. I think the Bruno thing, right? Part of the toxicity that we're talking about the club, I think is showing up in this weird Bruno issue. I think Bruno is good enough to play some games in the number 10 and some games in the number 8 or deeper position. And if everybody else on the pitch is doing what they're supposed to do, then we're not going to need to focus on Bruno's problems as much as we have to when it's glaring that because everybody else is failing, we're looking at our star boy Bruno to lead the day. I'm looking for 3 things from Amorim. The first one is man management. So be able to pass across your instructions to the players. Make sure that the players understand what you want from them and that they're able to do it. And the only way that's possible is if he does number 2. That is, keep the players honest. So no more favoritism. Anybody who's playing on the pitch should be playing because they deserve to play. And that way, you get only players on the pitch who understand what you want from them and are willing to give you what you want from them. And then the third and final thing is in-game management. I'm looking for Amorim to improve on how he responds to the games in the games. So 50th minute, 60th minute, you can see some weaknesses, make changes. And I think if Amorim does all of that, I think there's too much quality basically in this team, individual players basically for us to be where we are. If Amorim is able to achieve these 3 things, I can totally see us finishing between top 6 and top 8, and that's what I expect from this season.
All right, big up, big up, Sean. Yeah, go ahead. Go on.
I need to just balance that. Situational football, transition is situational football. Pressing is situational football. You cannot base your whole system on transition and press. In the Premier League, it's not going to work. You have to find another way of playing, or the coach will adapt to you. David Moyes showed that. And that's the way majority of the team in the Premier League will play us. That's it. That's all I have.
All right, big up, people. Listen, please smash a like.
Don't sweet, Luani.
Yeah, smash a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Please make sure you check out Luani 1979 on X. Make sure you check out Elmo39 on X. And make sure you check Ben out on Twitch. He's a gamer, so make sure you follow him. Elmo20. Make sure you follow Peter Alien Tenno on YouTube. On Instagram, he is the fellow with Estella. Make sure you check him out. Make sure you check him out at Black Rain on X, Lesso Football TV. On YouTube, Black Rain on X. Make sure you check out Sean at Sean Thomas on X. You can find me. There is across the bottom there, that guy, Red Devil. I'm having battles there at the moment. Battles and more battles. But it's all good. You know me. I've got strong opinions. Some people. They can't have somebody having strong opinions. And it is what it is. But I will say that I'm hoping, I really hope that Sesko comes in, does the bits, and can fit into a system. But I genuinely think if we neglect the midfield, we don't get a number 6. I think we're going to pay for it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about Sesko, and I'm wrong about his age, and I'm wrong about Manchester United trying to put all the eggs in one basket with him and just say, you've got to do it, and throw him at the deep end like we did with Rasmus. I hope I'm wrong that Amorim's got time to coach the players week to week. And remember, we've got no Europe. We're going to be playing one time a week. even though we're going to get entered in the early rounds of the cup, on the League Cup, which is going to be very interesting to see. But yeah, big up to everybody. Everybody on the like, big up to King Solomon, big up to Alternative Facts, big up. I hope we're hoping, I'm hoping, guy, my like, sorry, I have to laugh. Anytime anybody says that,
welcome back.
Yeah, anytime anybody says,
big up, guys.
Anytime anybody says they got a dodgy stomach, I always think it's bad. So yeah,
Yeah,
big up
but
Windy.
Dino, can I say this? Yeah, chat. Why can't we play fucking Kobe Mano at number 6?
Because genuinely, he's not a number 6. He hasn't got the experience or the know-how to play there, and we don't support him. We're not supporting him there. I actually think he's a lot better up the pitch. But I want to just say, big up to God, I can't believe I forgot his name.
Let me answer anything real quick. Kobe. The problem with Kobe is that for the two number 10s, Amorim wants those 10s to be able to run down the channels and down the flanks. So that's not where we want to see Kobe. Secondly, for the number 6 position, Amorim wants those guys to be able to support the attack in one breath and sprint back basically quickly to support the defense in the next
Everything is run. Why is everything run with us? Why can't the ball run? The ball cannot run. We have to run. What about the fitness?
Different philosophy. Different philosophies, right? So there will be games where, for example, against Arsenal, I would prefer if we started with Casemiro and Ugarte in midfield. That would be my preference. But games against like Bournemouth, for example, where we expect to have more possession, I don't mind seeing Ugarte and Menu or Ugarte and Bruno in that position. That's what I'm saying. Amorim needs to earn his pay. Identify your position and pick the right players to suit that game. Don't tell me you're stuck with Ugarte and Minu every game. Mix it up. Against Arsenal, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Listen, let's stop. We've got more shows to come. There'll be more discussions, people. New season, you see the panel here. We'll be there. The fights will keep going. The debates will keep going. The arguments will keep going.
Amorim out.
We've already got about 3 people
I can't believe what
Amorim
Amorim out. Before a single ball has been kicked this season. We're already Amorim out. It's fascinating.
He lied to me. He said we're gonna suffer, and then he said we're gonna suffer again. No way. You can't tell me the same thing twice.
Needs to go.
Hey, humble.
Amorim out.
Yeah, listen, I'll say this, people. Let's hope the manager and the team can shut us all up. And get rid of the boo boys. But this is what this channel is for. It's raw, is real, and is red. That's what it is. No whole bars here. None of that pleasantries. People with strong opinions telling it as it is. But yeah, free Palestine, free Lebanon, free the Congo, free Sudan, free Haiti, free Tigray,
free the world,
free anywhere, free the world from Epstein's
from
blackmail.
The fucking WEF, free the world from
and
them.
Everybody else, and all those pedos, free the world from all of them.
Omar Barada saw the storm. Omar Barada saw the storm in the color of the Niagara Falls.
Hey, there you go. He's a poet and he don't even know it. But yeah, free the people, free the land, man. Stop the starving people. F Zionism is a death cult. It is what it is. F the Glazers.
We live in 2025 and no human being should not have water or food. Facts. Shame on us for letting that happen.
We're supporting it. Our government are supporting this, but the people are against it. Not in our name. Not in our name. That's what we're saying. Yeah, free Ireland as well. Unite Ireland. Big up Love Light. Big up Southport. Big up South Africa. Big up Northern Ireland. There. Big up New York. Big up California, yay. Big up Central Money. There we go, people. Love and light.
Dino, you forgot this if you're gay. Dino, you forgot this if you're gay. Big up your fucking dildo.
One more.
Yellow card.
One more final thing, just very quickly.
Sorry, mate.
We're all eyes on Ineos, all eyes on the manager and the players, but most importantly, this is just for me. All eyes on the 1958. I want to see protests this fucking season, man.
Well, they are, Ben. They're doing it.
I want to see more. I want to see more.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to see more, man. It's unacceptable. We can't be having that, man. I want to see more.
They're doing it, Dino, Ben. They're doing it for the excuse me, for the Arsenal game. You got a
but we
process
need to see
going on.
more. We need to see more, Peter. We need to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
more.
Big up King Soul Alternative Fact. Big up all the other mods. Love and light. Big up everybody who tuned
Big
in.
up.
Please subscribe to the channel, smash the likes. And the poll, just to get you, are you giddy about Sesko? It is a resounding 63% of you have said yes.
Wow.
37% of you are with me and a bit pessimistic. So big up to the therapy army. We got that poll tonight. Love. That's the community poll. It's part of this. It's another function of the channel now. Every time we go live, we get the democratization of United Real Therapy. There we go. And by the way, if any of the panel have got any questions or anybody who is in the chat has another poll question, please get it in. Love and light, people. Take care.
You know what, Dino, before you go, before you go, we need to empty Old Trafford.
Facts.
Yeah, true.
We need to do that. We need to do that. Yeah, I pray for that. Go ahead, Ben.
No, yeah, I agree. And I'll be there. I'll be there at the Arsenal game too, boys. So if any of you guys are about, then let me know.
Big up. Love. Take care, people. Good night.